Warning: listeners may experience increased motivation, accountability, and personal development. You are now listening to the Think, Grow, Evolve podcast with your hosts, Eric and Jose.
Hey, dude.
Ooh, what's up?
What's up? How you doing?
Good. You know, today we're going to talk about an interesting topic. Welcome back. And just so everyone listening, when this episode airs, it's going to be the beautiful Eric's birthday. So we're going to get a early happy birthday. Everyone's going to say happy birthday to you,
You know, this is so weird saying that before this actually goes live. But you're right. This is scheduled to go live on my birthday.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys know.
Getting old, man. Time's flying.
Yeah, what are you, 20?
I mean, like 18?
Yeah, so...
Speaking of that,
nice
that it makes me realize that, like, time is so sensitive, man. And, like, I wish we did this so much longer ago. I mean, I think we needed to learn a thing or two before we got our stupid voices out there and talk about this stuff. But
yeah, probably. But I feel like we always say that when we're probably a good time in doing what we said we weren't going to do, or it took us a while to do. Like, even with my car, man, like, it took me after to be like, I should have done it sooner.
Hindsight is 2020. Or how many relationships you're like, oh, like, why didn't I realize that earlier?
Yeah. Well,
humans like learning shit the hard way.
Experience.
And that's exactly what led us to talking about what we're going to talk about today. And we're talking about our body image.
Yeah.
So before we get into this, the whole reason why, like, I think this one is so fascinating for, like, myself per se is whenever I actually did some personal research on body image, because it was something, like, significant for me. And, like, being a male, everything that I researched on YouTube and looking at research documents and body image, body dysmorphia, the effects of social media on body image, and it's all directed towards females. Literally, the conversation about eating disorders and body image is on females. And we're not going to pretend that that's not a thing. Obviously, it's super significant in females, and this isn't to undermine it, but I think, like, the actual male experience in modern 2021 living, body image it's everywhere.
Yeah. It's you're supposed to be chiseled, jacked, have like a crazy jawline, and have like the best abs in the world.
Well, even the whole dad bod craze, like, being a dad bod is sexy now, and, like, you got to work towards that dad bod. You got to, like, there's always, like, the epitome, and I think both genders, just as a human, we get this. We're like, I need to be what society wants me to be.
Whatever the trend is.
And the thing that's interesting about body image is, regardless of what you look like in the mirror, your body image is created in your head, and that's where it becomes problematic, because you are, no matter what you see, what other people see, you see this image, this monster, this skinny kid, this jacked kid, this fat person, like, that's what you see in your head.
Yeah. It's like these extra roles, or why am I storing fat here, or why can't I look like this person, or why can't I have a dad bod, or why can't I look a little bit more lean, or why can't I be a little bit more taller?
Or right? Even, like, a lot of the times, like, even with my when I grew up, I'd looked at these, like, social media because me and Jose were really big into, like, the social media side of fitness, and, like, we followed Gymshark before they even, like, became a thing.
Yeah.
Christian Guzman before he even started Alpha Lead. I was watching his YouTube videos, and Mark Fit. Like, these people were like, oh, if we work out, we're going to get that lifestyle. Like, oh, when you're jacked, you get the gorgeous blonde girl, and you get the sports car, and you get the freaking supplements shipped to your house and all that stuff. Like, the body image became associated with, like, a lifestyle.
Yeah, and I think as young little teenagers, even early 20s, it was very easy to just kind of let that it consumed me, to be honest. Like, it did for about like a year or two, and I was very, very obsessed with my body image, right? And I don't know if it happens to everyone, but I did go through that uncomfortable stage at first where I was not satisfied. Like, and like, I would kind of go into this, like, self-talk or this bad talk where I'm like, okay, like, I'm not, especially when it came towards cutting, or especially when it came towards, like, let's say dieting to look a certain way, I would take things to the extreme. And looking back, I do not think that was healthy. And the funny thing is that they're trying to show a healthy lifestyle. But I think the habits, or what I created as a result of that, we're not that healthy.
And the funny thing is, and I think it's an awesome point that you mentioned, is like you as the person going through that, me as the person going through that, you think that you're on a freaking health kick. You think you're
Yeah.
like, look at how healthy I am. I'm going to the
Yeah.
gym all the time. Like,
Yeah.
oh, like how mom and dad, like, aren't you proud of like the person I am? Why
Yeah.
aren't girls like on their knees kissing me right now? Like, like look at this guy. He's working so hard. But
Yeah.
meanwhile, like you're an unhealthy person.
You're obsessed with yourself.
Yep.
Obsessed with just like, to be honest, even like I think me and you got along because we were the same when it came to this type of stuff. But if you think of, let's say, someone that does not think of this lifestyle at all, they kind of look at us like, you know, all those memes like bodybuilders like meal prepping, and they show up to like random gatherings and it's just like rice, chicken,
yeah.
and you know, and it's like, yo, like live. But then like we would always kind of like talk to ourselves and be like, oh, they don't get it, or it like we would just keep giving ourselves this talk to just reinforce our beliefs. And I think we went over this in like one of the previous podcasts where you just couldn't like continuously, I forgot the word, but you continuously give yourself almost like credibility to be like, okay, no, what I'm doing is right and what they're not, and what they're doing is wrong. And obviously over the years, I don't think the same now. I have a completely different relationship to food. But I'm not going to lie, at first it was not healthy. It was not healthy. Toxic relationship, that's for sure.
And this doesn't just apply for like gym people or like people who like followed social media fitness people. Like that's just like our specific example of kind of like how we got overly obsessed with this sort of mentality or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be with anything. Like I've seen like thousands of like friends and family that like when they take a picture, they get like literally angry seeing how they look in the picture, that I'm not beautiful enough, or why, oh, that was my bad side, or oh my God, I hate my nose, I want a surgery. And it's like, this is you. Like you are literally made, like you are a miracle that you exist and you are a functioning human being, but you are so hard on yourself.
And that's it's the crazy thing, because like it's very true. And like apparently like, yeah, just like in family like pictures, or just like you can realize these little things, right? Or just like the sucking in of the stomach, or just
give a little tricep flex in the picture.
It's like when you're driving, you just flex, you know, like your biceps a bit, you know, you're like roll the window down.
And I think it goes to show that like body image, self-image, whatever you want to call it, it's very much a reference point. Because like, have you ever seen like a really, really beautiful person? Like you just like, they're like what you deem as beautiful, and you see a picture and they're like, hey, how do you like this? Or here are a couple pictures of me. Or they ask you to take, and you're like, wow, that's like a fucking good picture.
Yeah.
And like, I hate it. I need to take more. And they're like literally angry. And you're like, what could you hate about being you? But meanwhile, someone's saying the same thing about you. Like you take a picture and you find that your cheek is leftwardly tilted, and that line, a couple more degrees,
or you're not like, your face is not perfectly symmetrical, or just something, or you have like a blemish or a pimple or something, you know?
Yeah,
it's
and
like
you hyper focus on your imperfections. And I think even me, like putting myself out on social media as at a younger age, like posting Facebook pictures, like it was like legit a process for me. And what I mean, like I used to have to send pictures to my sister, send pictures to friends, send pictures to girlfriends, show my parents, be like, is this okay? Is this okay? Like, yeah, Eric, that's a good picture of you. Post it. And I'm like, are you sure? Like society's gonna like, oh my God. Like,
almost like your own little hype, like your own little hype team, you know, to get you like the confidence to be like, okay, this is.
But isn't that sad how we can't look at ourselves and be like, I mean, maybe this is primarily a me experience, but I couldn't post pictures of me. It bothered me.
Yeah. Well, like it was a huge, well, man, that was honestly one of the first things, like even with my Instagram, man, like at first, like I just, like the concept of like posting things were just like foreign to me. I'm like, and especially myself. And like, we could probably see a lot of like accounts probably just, it's not even of themselves. It's like of nature or some shit, which is totally fine. But like, it is uncomfortable. I think the first couple like pictures, I guess, are just putting yourself out there.
So let's make it real for a second. What are some of the things that you catch yourself saying before you post a picture? What's the self-talk that's in your head?
What are people gonna think? Is this a good angle? Do I look my best? Like I feel like you kind of put this is what I do. Like, and obviously it's not the best, but I've honestly gone to the point where I've gone to just say, fuck it, right? Which took a while, but
Years.
yeah,
Definitely years.
took a while, right? And maybe it's because of the years, like, because like honestly, as you get older, you're like, hey, you know what, like,
No, but let's
like
think about those people that are in their high school clans and they're
Yeah.
in their college like rooms, and they like genuinely like the feeling, that pressure, that experience is there. What are you telling yourself?
I'm telling myself if I was in school, what are people in my program going to think? Because everyone fucking knows. God forbid you go to like a small university, like everyone in your program knows. And if you present something, they'll be like, oh, this person posted this, or this person went here, or this person went there. You are kind of exposing yourself, right? And you want to like, kind of like what we said before, Instagram is a highlight of your life, right? So if you post like, from your point of view, shitty pictures, you're probably going to think that like everyone's probably going to look at you and be like, oh my God, this guy's like, has like a shitty lifestyle, or he doesn't look good. Or ideally if anything, it's almost like a resume that you're giving to the world. And on your resume, you want to put your best qualities, right? So, but the thing about a resume is that it's typed out, which is easy compared to Instagram, where it's like literally a picture of you. And you did something pretty cool. You posted a picture of your transformation, which I thought was really brave.
Oh, you have
Like that's
no
that was
idea, man.
like that's some balls right there.
I remember being in
So-
like grade 7 and 8 and like kind of having skinny boy abs and being like, oh yeah, like I could
Look
take
at
a
me.
selfie picture. Sort of got over that cockiness real quick because I was like, wow, I'm not ripped, I'm skinny. But yeah, no, posting a transformation. You want to know what my self-talk was?
Go for it.
Am I a douchebag? Are people gonna think I'm a douche? Why am I Am I posting this for attention? Am I gonna get likes? Is this gonna get female attention?
Mhm.
Are people gonna be proud of me? And then on a positive note, one part of me was like, I hope someone reaches out to me and like says
Gets inspired Yeah.
right? But there was so much like, and I'm not like a lot of the times, like I guess if you think about an action like posting a picture on social media,
Yeah.
people think it's just like, bro, just post a picture.
Yeah.
But like just in this little talk, I remember all of those thoughts going through my head.
Yeah. Just even something as simple as writing a caption.
Oh,
Like it's like, what do I say? What do I do? Is this too cheesy? Is this not too cheesy? Like it's I feel like there's so many things that you kind of think about, right? You kind of put yourself in this like and that's something I realized with you, man. Your captions, oof, you probably like proofread them, grammarly them, like they're perfect and they're long too. I'm like, holy shit. Like I'm just like, yeah, like that's
now you literally just festered in me. So like now I'm conscious about like people think or read these captions intently.
Oh, really?
Shit, now I'm gonna think about this stuff.
Man, like we said before, man, like just be you, man. That's the first episode. Do you, baby?
Yeah, but that was actually something I wasn't worried about people's judgment. Now I am.
Who am I?
You are you, man. You're
Yeah,
special.
well,
I'm joking.
Who cares? Exposed. Okay, back to body image.
Okay,
man.
back to body image. So I think I
Sexy
want
body image.
to talk a little bit about my story because like I think my experience with body image was like, I'm not going to say it was unique because I'm sure a lot of people felt this way, but it's not like your typical like, oh, I developed an eating disorder and I was like throwing up. It wasn't that. But like I was in high school and I was an athlete and stuff, and like being not popular, but I liked attention in the sense that like I liked the idea of being attractive to women. Like that was like a huge drive for me in high school. I'd wear the clothes to be attractive, listen to the music I thought was cool.
I think it's every guy's.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not gonna front
Yeah.
and say like I didn't care about that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I graduated high school at like 117 pounds. Like
Wow.
I was
Really?
skinny, and
Damn.
like so when I started working out in grade 11, but like that's like an
It was-
absolute joke of
Hmm.
like working out. It was like just curling weight with horrible form and like thinking
Arms
you're
and chest.
taking a Snapchat and sending it to girls in another high school. And
Just arms and chest. I remember that's all I trained. No back, no legs, just arms. Not even arms, biceps.
Yeah. What is a tricep at that age?
Like triceps, like it would just
I
be
trained shoulders. I did train shoulders.
the only shoulders I trained was like benching. I was just bench and curls. I still remember that. That's all I used to do.
Oh, you
man.
didn't do abs? I did a butt ton of abs.
See, because like me and my abs, man, like I've never really seen my abs, so I'm like, fuck abs. Let me get that chest.
But then when I started going to the gym, like I'm gonna say semi seriously, where I was like going and I was like kind of had an idea of what form was and stuff, like, and I started gaining weight pretty quick. I don't know if it was like a puberty thing or like maybe my body was just like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to go from like 117 pounds in like a couple years. I hit 180, and it was like,
Ooh, it's a big jump.
yeah, like literally 60 pounds of a difference in like a couple years. And I'm not saying
Shit.
it's just from working out, but it was like from an absolute obsession with the process.
Mm. And how are you talking to yourself during that time, like body image wise? Were you like, yes, this is working? Was it like what you wanted, or was it just like?
So here's the thing. Have you ever seen like Matthew McConaughey's speech on Who's Your Hero?
No.
So Matthew McConaughey's speech was like, who's your hero? And he's
Okay.
like, oh shit, I don't know my hero, but like, I know who my hero is. My hero is myself in 10 years. And then 10 years passes. They're like, hey, it's 10 years later. Are you your hero now? He goes, not even close. He goes,
Damn.
my hero's 10 years from me from now. That was like and even though that sounds positive, my experience of my journey was never positive. And what I mean by that is like when I was 120 and then I got to 130, I wasn't happy. I'm like, why am I not 140? I always wanted more. And even to this day, when I hit my max weight, I'm like, why am I not 200 pounds? And you know what the kicker is? I never looked ever like one of the guys that I admired on social media. I never looked like Christian. I never looked like Mark. I never looked like Steve Cook. I never looked like, and the sad thing is you will never look like another person. You will always look like you.
Yeah.
But like, you know how everyone has like muscular imbalances? Like the fact that I didn't have symmetrical abs or like my chest, like I had a super strong chest, but my chest never grew. But then I would do like a little bit of legs and like it just never made sense to me. And I ended up like, what am I doing wrong? Do I need a coach? Do I need a personal trainer? And then the food. We'll get into food later, but like my relationship with food was like messed up. What about you? What was your little journey when it came to your body image and like how you viewed yourself?
See, so not gonna lie, I wasn't always this chunky. I was actually really skinny in elementary school. Like I was a toothpick, and I remember like just like a lot of like I can't remember, like it's hard to think of it now, but I don't know if it was friends, school, or my family that would like call me like skinny. Actually, no, yeah, I think a lot of it was like I think my family now, because I used to have like a nickname, like it would be like Flacco or some shit, and it would be like that would just mean skinny, and I'm like yo, like don't say that, right? So and me being in like this is like in grade 8, this is like a way back, I was really skinny guy. So what I started doing is, okay, if I'm skinny, it's because I don't eat. That's like my simple logic. So what do? I eat more. I literally ate to the point where like I was full, but I'm like, I need to eat more.
Force feeding.
Like kind of exactly like put like eating
shove it down that mouth
where
baby.
you're really uncomfortable. Like it was like like it wasn't a good feeling, but like kind of similar to you, I'm like, okay, like I know this will get me not as skinny. And then what happened is then I started getting not like chunky, but I put on some size.
How old were you roughly here?
You
You said elementary school.
Yeah, so grade 8 to grade like 9, 10, like I think I probably dangled around maybe like 140, 150. I remember being in like grade 11 and grade 12. I remember like eating bourbon and like being a steady 170.
For those of you listening, bourbon was a food place. It's not alcohol. You guys not pretty much drinking.
It's a dope Asian restaurant. And I remember being at 170. And when I was at 170, it wasn't like 170 a muscle. It was like a skinny fat. So now I was like, shit, I wish I was when I was in elementary school.
Oh.
So it was kind of like how do I say it?
It's kind of like you're flip-flopping.
Exactly. Yes. Oh man, and you probably know when I first started dieting, I was the king of flip-flopping. I would cut for like about a week. I'd be like, "Oh my god, I lost so much weight. Let me eat. Let me bulk." And then I would be like, "Oh my god, I'm gaining too much weight. Let me cut." It was literally like a year of this non. As you could probably see from a young age, I developed like this. I was similar to you. I was never happy. Never happy. I was like, when you got somewhere, you're like, no,
Nope.
let me go back to where I was. And when you're there, you're like, no, let me go back here. So
But
I was like, just
a lot of that's because you don't look like the people on social media, right?
and I don't think social media was as big that at that time, but I still saw it, right? Like Arnold and shit like that, right? I was like, holy shit. But now that it's so prevalent, like literally a big portion of our day is seeing these other people. It's I think I don't know how I would survive if, let's say, I was
You good there,
younger. Yeah. The mic drop.
Choking.
It was a burp. To be respectful. So I don't know how I would survive if I was like going through that, knowing the access to like technology is now, like, seeing all these people with unrealistic body expectations, right? And
I think at a young age, you don't even like fathom the possibility of steroids or personal enhancing drugs or surgeries.
Now
or any
it's-
of that. Now it's like fair game.
now it's like drinking water.
I mean, one thing I'm actually happy about for the kids today is even though more people are doing steroids and I'm not condoning it, I think a lot of YouTubers now are coming out as not natty.
And see, that was a huge thing. And it was
We
also
didn't
big.
have that, bro.
Yeah, no.
We did not have that. Fake natty was a thing. So our standards were like, you gotta
Through the
be
roof.
like ripped, jacked, and
Yeah.
like we were talking about this off. I was gonna say off camera, but
Or off air.
off the record.
Yeah.
And like me and Jose were going to the gym 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, sometimes twice a day, 2 to 3 hours a day, and like
fucked.
there was people that we knew who were making like insane freaking progress in the span of 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and we're
Yeah.
like, what? Like,
And just to give you guys, we've been going for like, let's say at this time, we've probably been going consistently to the gym for about 3 to 4 years. Like, seriously.
I remember feeling like a bag of absolute ass.
Yeah. And literally the only thing we kind of had going for us was our strength. That's it.
Yeah, our bodies didn't ever.
That's it.
I remember like
Yeah.
posing in a mirror and having you take pictures of me shirtless, and I
Yeah.
was so excited because like I like hit PRs and stuff, and then
yeah.
I see the picture and you're like, bro, you look good. I'm like,
Do I?
this isn't what I thought I was gonna look like.
Yep. And it doesn't help when you see other people literally put your progress to shame and then some in the span of like months. And obviously there's genetics and obviously there's supplements, but I think just realizing that there's more to that. There's enhancers, to put nicely. That, and I feel like sometimes everyone obviously has their different reasons for it, and but it wasn't easy, right? Like, but it wasn't easy. Just like you're like, I put all this time, all this work, just to see that like if I took a little 1-2, I would get it in like a couple months, right? But then I feel like you'd probably still put yourself in that trap. You'd probably be like, I'm not satisfied.
Well, that's the thing,
So-
right? Body image and your relationship with yourself about your body it's not instant gratification. There is
Yeah.
nothing you can do. No diet, no exercise program. I mean, I guess there's surgeries, but we're very much not talking about that. There's nothing naturally you can do
Yeah.
that's going to give you the results you want. Snap of your finger. Not possible. Nothing.
And that's a hard pill to swallow.
And
for-
also, like, going back to the dieting and exercising thing, like, have you ever been doing the right thing? Like, you're exercising, you're eating properly, but then you're going backwards. Like, all of a sudden, you're trying to gain weight, but you lost a pound, and now you're freaking out. Or say you're dieting, you're trying to lose 10 pounds. You went on the scale, and you weigh 3 more pounds.
See, like, towards the start of my whole fitness journey, like, seeing all these YouTubers, just, it was so trendy, if it fits your macros. A couple years ago, that was the whole thing, right? Flexible dieting. They were really preaching you could be, like, shredded abs and, like, eat burgers. And, like, are you kidding me? Who wouldn't want to do that, right? So I remember just being so obsessed over that aspect towards the first couple of years, especially when it comes towards my food, right? But the thing is like, well, compared to now, I did not have the knowledge at the time. So I would get pretty angry. Not pretty angry, but I would also give myself kind of like this negative talk, like, what's wrong with me? When I tried certain things, and let's say like me and you were both cutting our calories, I'd be looking at you sometimes and I'll be like, holy shit, like it's really working. Then I'd be looking at myself and I'm over here like, am I doing something wrong? I'm like, what is going on here? Like we're like, cause like we would be training the same, we would eat relatively the same, but I was like,
Live the same lifestyle, really.
I was like, yo, like, are you doing something like that? Like, are you going on that good? I'm like, damn, man. I'm like, what is going on here? So what I would do is I would restrict myself even more during these first couple of years, right? And let's say calorie counting wasn't working. What I did is I would do it harder. I would do it more stricter. I would start counting. Like, it got really obsessive to the point where like my family started making fun of me because I shit you not, with every single meal, I would not eat it until I weighed it to the gram. And I was pretty much putting these expectations off people that I saw.
Trust, man.
And,
I remember
like it was
my fitness pal. I remember
yeah.
a couple nights I'm like, it's like 10, 11, and I'm like, I'm still 1,300 calories short of 5,000 calories or 4,000 calories. Guess what? I went downstairs, spoonful of peanut butter, take 3 shots of olive oil. You think that shit's good? You think that like this is like, so the whole point of this episode, guys, isn't to basically just show you like what meatheads we were and like what mistakes we made. It's literally to just illustrate how normal it was to have like this negative self-talk about yourself. We like, you're not the only person who looks at a picture of themselves and gets sad. You're not the only person who steps on a scale and doesn't like the number they see. You're not the only person who is scared to post a picture on Instagram or looks at other people and their social group and their family and gets jealous because like, hey, they are the where you want to be. But you know what the sad thing or the truth is if you were them, because you are them to someone is looking at your content, someone is looking at your body, someone is looking at you and saying, damn, I wish I was them.
I wish, yeah.
You are someone's perfect. And that's not a romantic thing. I'm talking like, it's literally success is a reference point.
Yeah.
It's a reference point because you are someone's perfect and someone is your perfect. And you know what? You can't get to someone else's perfect, but you can get to your perfect.
Yeah.
You can get to your version of the best version of you.
I love that. And I think, so this is just me thinking about this stuff, but I think one of the crucial things that honestly got me to switch from my old mentality to what it is now is happiness. Be happy. Like, I think that's one of the things that I did not allow myself to do when I first started going on this journey and being so obsessed over my body image and just my relationship to food is I would look at it as numbers. I'm like, it doesn't fit my macros, or I didn't eat my macros today, or it was very just a one way type of relationship. It wasn't like a toxic relationship, right? But now it's a lot more different. And I think one of the core things that I follow is happiness, like being happy. Like, okay, like I'm pretty sure a pizza makes you fucking happy, right? And let's say your macros say, shit, you cannot eat that. Are you gonna be like, okay, like sad and like depressed eating that piece of broccoli? Like, is that a good sustainable habit long term that you want to have for the rest of your life? Like, you want to also live your life, right?
Definitely. And
Like,
I like how you mentioned happiness. And another one that like changed as I got older and back in my day, but all joking aside, is you said happiness. One thing that changed for me is being healthy. Like the way I work out now, it's not so much I gotta lift the heaviest weight, I gotta be the strongest, I gotta
that was
stuff
so
my
us, man.
Me and Jose were so stupid. When we knew we were gonna lift really heavy weight, we would go to a restaurant called Greek Brothers and we would eat like crazy chicken souvlaki with rice and potatoes,
Double protein,
double carbs, double protein, just to hit our weight. Now it's like I want to lift so I have more time on this earth. I want to exercise so that my heart is healthy. I want to eat
Mhm.
better food so that I feel good.
Yeah, that is a very key point that I think you just left is or just stated is how you feel when you eat certain foods.
If it fit your macros, might as well
Like-
said if it makes your stomach hurt. That's what the diet should be called, because we were Jose, I,
Oh,
and our
man.
third gym buddy. One day we went to McDonald's and
Oh.
we were like, what, 18?
We
17?
were young, man. I remember looking at the picture. I'm like, damn, yo, fuck, that's what I look like. But yeah,
We ordered maybe 90 something, 80 something dollars of McDonald's
yeah.
just to like, all three of us were bulking, so let's get our calories in. I mean, it definitely didn't fit our macros, but anyways, we ate it and felt like an absolute truck hit us the next day. I'm pretty sure I remember texting you guys and being like, even though, I mean, I personally was like, oh my God, look, I'm going to be gaining so much freaking weight, bro.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I didn't eat the next day.
Like,
dumbasses.
I felt full for, I think, a good day.
A week,
And
bro.
See, the other thing is this also happens to me when I eat sushi. I don't know if this
Sushi
happens
does
to
that,
you,
bro. Sushi
but
does that.
like sometimes you just eat so much and I don't feel hungry for that day. And then even the next day,
Because we go for sushi lunch.
right? Yeah. So I'm like, yo, like this is kind of like, it's good, but like I feel like we just overeat. And that's one of the things that I've been trying to do is eat more mindfully. Especially when it comes to feelings, like it's how certain foods make me feel, because honestly, like I thought I was eating healthy, but I was eating a very strict, like rice, chicken. If I'm lucky, my greens actually came from a green supplement, which isn't bad, but I've been experimenting more with actually diversifying my meals, man. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed as like a game changer in my life. I thought I was healthy. I thought I was functioning pretty close to my optimal performance until I literally started adding like more diversity in my food. Oh man. Like,
you want to know one of the weirdest yeah, no, it's just weird. I've explained this to people and they look at me and kind of like tilt their head like, this guy's weird.
Yeah.
But ever since I was a little kid, I was always, and I mean always, curious about people's fridges.
Interesting.
So like, what I mean by that is like, you know, when you go to your kitchen and you open your fridge and like your staple foods are there, that the sauces that you use, your drinks, your milks, your all, like whatever, like it looks like your fridge.
Yeah.
But then you go to like your grandfather's house and you look at his fridge and like it looks like his fridge. And then you go to your cousin's house and then you go to your bro's house. Like one of the coolest things. So like my girlfriend, when she lived in Kingston, she was like living with 4 girls. So when I went over and I went to go into the fridge, she's like, oh, so the top half of this fridge is mine. The bottom half is my roommate's. And I was like, you could see there's like a division of 2 different types of fridges.
That's crazy.
And this is to go on your conversation of diversifying your food. Like there is not one way to eat. There is not one diet to eat, but you have the power. And like, we have the gift of like living in North America where you can have that flexibility, right?
Yeah.
Like I know the North American culture is all about bigger is better, eat as much as you can, and like all you can eat restaurants, buffet. But it's like we also have the living in Canada, Toronto, like the diversity of every culture almost.
Yeah.
And like it's just I don't know, maybe it is weird, but I just always found it so fascinating how diverse like even the cereals people eat are so fucking different. Blows my mind, man.
See, it's funny because it's just to kind of tag along to what you said is here in Canada there is a lot of diversity, right? But what I've been doing, this may be kind of creepy, but well, because I've been studying more about nutrition, but every time I go grocery shopping, I look at people's carts and I look at their thing and I'm seeing what people usually grab. And you walk into a supermarket or a grocery store, you're like, wow, look at all this variety. But I'm pretty sure you go get the same things. Like you don't like, and if you look at people, I'm not saying to go look at people and shit, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people, when you go to the grocery store, very oftentimes you stick to what you've been eating for your whole life or just what you know is good, right?
Legit, bro. That's why everyone's fridge looks the same for the like majority of their life.
So, and I don't know if it's because we have so much like different varieties that we don't even trying them, right? Like it's it's funny because there's so many different types of foods that you can eat. But something that I was guilty with is eating the same thing. And I thought I was eating quote unquote healthy, which to a certain perspective I was. But man, when I started diversifying my foods, I was like, whoa. Like, and then my whole relationship to food changed and to my body image, because now I'm like, uh-oh. I think something just clicked in my head. It's like, if I eat certain foods, I feel better. And this is another thing that's also a game changer. Is like, I don't know if you experience this, but like on certain weather, like, you know, when it's like gloomy and shit, you don't want to do anything. You just want to chill, like fucking watch Netflix and just be in a ball. On those days like that, I make it a priority to really increase my green intake. And man, like I feel, it honestly helps with how I feel, right? And if you think of it, I kind of look at it as like fueling your body with premium gas. I kind of look at your, like, you know, I kind of look at myself like a Ferrari. If you look, you know,
What
but
color? What color? What color?
red.
Damn.
Red.
Okay.
So I kind of look at Whole Foods, a nice variety of foods is premium gas. And what happens when you put the best type of gas? You run the best, you run the most efficient. But if you give yourself regular gas, you're going to go into some problems. So if you eat, let's say, just one type of food, or if you eat just a lot of processed foods, you're going to feel okay, but you're not going to feel your best. And this is something that I realized. I thought I felt my best until I started eating different types of foods.
But you know what's kind of bullshit about this whole process, man? So like going back to your point about the people in grocery stores buying the same thing. There's actually like algorithms, and I worked at a grocery store, of how they put shit on the shelf to get people's attention.
It's crazy. Yeah.
They put the unhealthy, cheap shit at eye level, and then certain things that they want to sell, like at the ends. And what do you think people, are you going to go down on like your fucking stomach to get something on the bottom row that's healthy?
No.
Nope. You're getting the shit that makes them the most money. And so to your point, you have to educate yourself. You have to invest time, and you have to learn what your body likes, what works for your body. And it's sad that a lot of the food that's good for you is more expensive. And I think that's a huge, I think that's a pandemic in itself of like.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I'm trying to just like educate myself more on that. And I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that some governments do give incentives towards companies to produce processed foods. So this is why you can get a junior chicken or two for under $5. But if you want to buy an apple that grows from a fucking tree and it just drops,
you know what always gets
like
me at the
$2.
grocery store? Cherries.
Cherries.
Cherries are so expensive. I fucking love cherries.
Isn't it crazy how something that like naturally grown costs literally 2 or 3 times more than any food you can get at like a fast food joint?
Yeah.
But it's crazy because I think governments give incentives towards these companies so that they're able to sell it for cheaper. And I don't think they give incentives towards like the actual like fruits, vegetables, foods that aren't processed. So that's that.
Well, I also feel like
that's
farming as a trade has like gone down in popularity. Like you don't, how many people do you know in high school grew up saying like, oh, I want to be a farmer when I'm older? No, everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Everyone wants to be whatever.
It's also a trend, right? But that's the unfortunate thing is and it's inconvenient. And I'm gonna say it, like, to be honest, like eating.
He's gonna say it, guys.
Like eating like shit is just convenient.
It is.
It's very fucking convenient. Like eating healthy is not fun, and not fun as in the eating part. Preparing it, buying it, like
cleaning it,
like
cooking it at a certain timeline because it actually fucking expires.
Like man, like it takes time. And guess what? Like some people, like they say they don't have time, they don't have this and that, but like it's way more convenient to pull up in a drive-through. Hi, I want this, this, and this. Pay. I got my meal. It's way more convenient.
Tastes good.
Yeah. And see, this is the dangerous thing too, is that something I've realized is if you really obsess over processed foods, I feel like your taste buds also change. Because now you're so used to like how good food tastes that when you taste, let's say like broccoli, you're like, ugh, this is disgusting. So it's you kind of like condition your body to just always crave that like sugary processed foods.
It's a drug. Sugar's a drug. All that stuff's a drug. But holy shit, man. We went everywhere with this conversation. Like,
yeah, it's body image and food. Mainly body image and our little backstories.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, this isn't just to like rant, but we really want to like just normalize this experience we have of like this weird relationship we have with ourselves, and just send the message that like you're not alone, guys. Like it's totally normal to have these feelings.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, we really want to get the message across that like I can't speak on behalf of Jose, but I know like for me, it's not like my issues with body, it's not like my body image is like the perfect person now and I'm happy because I've done these things and changed. No. But I can honestly, like, I was gonna say, look you guys in the face. I can speak to your guys' ears in your cars, and I can tell you that like I have a much better relationship with my body image now because of like little adjustments and some understanding, some work, some better eating habits, some friends. Like, being able to talk to someone like Jose about this sort of thing made me feel like I wasn't alone, and like having relationships with my family and like girlfriend, and like being able to talk about or see people like, oh, I don't like how I look and stuff. I was like, wait, so it's not just me?
It's not just me, yeah.
Because a lot of the human suffering is like, it's very much I was gonna say unique, but it's universal. A lot of us go through the same things. So guys, just don't think like you're alone when you're going through stuff.
Yeah, and kind of like you said, like if you guys like wanna just fucking vent or just say something to one of us, like we both told you that we both been through it and we're both on better paths now, right? So if you guys like just need someone to talk to, or just like a little bit more guidance on to what foods like you enjoy or what foods to try, or just little things like that, like our DMs are open.
Yeah, guys, we don't have a magic wand that's going to make your problems disappear, but we got 2 ears, and we'd love to help you guys walk through the fire with you, because that's what we needed to get us through our shit. So don't be shy. You guys know what to do. Follow us at Think, Grow, Evolve Podcast. Slide into the DMs, email us, participate in the community. We love you guys so much, and we can't wait to talk to you guys more.
Take care, guys.
Much love and peace.